Okay, so today we're going to take a look at multiplying and dividing in scientific notation. So with this one, this is also the advanced option. So we're going to have to do some correcting before we can just jump straight into multiplying and dividing, and I'll explain here. So multiplying or dividing in scientific notation works the same way as multiplying or dividing powers. So we do have to remember all the power rules that we learned before. First, multiply or divide the coefficients, then combine the exponents of the base of 10. We may need to correct the resulting number if we do not end up with a number from 1 to 9 in front of the decimal. So one thing to make sure, and this is a little bit more important when you're doing addition subtraction, because you can also add and subtract these numbers. If you don't have the exact same exponent, you cannot add or subtract the numbers straight off. You have to correct them so they have the correct exponent, meaning move the decimal the appropriate number of times to get the correct exponent. Now, when you're multiplying or dividing, you don't have to correct this. You can start multiplying and then you can correct it after. So we want to multiply the two coefficients. So we have 6 times 10 to the negative 4th and 7.2 times 10 to the negative 7th. So we have 6 and 7.2. Those are my coefficients. Remember, those are the numbers that are being multiplied usually in front of an exponent, but in this case, it's our coefficient of the scientific notation. So we're going to multiply our coefficients, and then we're going to deal with the base of 10. So I have 10 to the negative 4 and 10 to the negative 7. Well, if you remember the exponent rules, if I'm multiplying powers, it means I actually add them. So that's why I have 10 to the negative 4th plus negative 7. So if I'm multiplying powers with the same base, and they both have a base of 10 here, then I add the exponents. And we'll do the division one for the next one. So if multiplication goes with addition, division goes with subtraction. Hopefully you can remember they both increase, multiplication, addition, they both decrease, division and subtraction. All right, so let's go ahead and simplify this one. So we have 6 times 7.2. So remember, this is a multiplication dot, this is a decimal. So the decimal is down low, the multiplication dot's usually a little bigger in the middle. You can also use parentheses if the dot confuses you. But we get 43.2. And then for this one, I have negative 4 plus negative 7. So that gives me negative 11. Because I had negative 4, I want 7 more negative. I add and keep the negative sign. I do have to correct this because this is not proper scientific notation. There should only be one number to the left of the decimal place. 43, well, that's 2 digits. So I need to move this back 1 decimal place because I'm moving it from the right. Remember, when we're putting it in scientific notation, we're paying attention to where we're moving it from. So this is fixing scientific notation, but it's the same idea. I'm moving it from the right, so I'm adding 1. It's a positive 1. So I end up with 4.32, that's proper for the scientific notation, times 10 to the negative 10th. So make sure not only are you paying attention to your multiplication, your power rules, but also put it in proper notation, or you will get it wrong on Alex if you left it at 43.2. All right, let's do the next one. So same thing, we're going to worry about the the coefficients first, 7.2 and 8. So I'm going to go 7.2 divided by 8. And then I'll deal with these powers. So 10 to the negative 3rd divided by 10 to the 8th. Since they're being divided and they have the exact same base, I will subtract the exponents. So you can see there's a subtraction sign here. Even though 8's not negative, I'm going negative 3 minus 8. So that's another thing that sometimes confuses students is the difference between minus and negative. There's really not a huge difference. It's just how we read it. But it would be funny if I said negative 3, negative 8, because it's just more proper sounding to say negative 3 minus 8 here. Okay? But really, those words are fairly interchangeable. They mean the same thing. Okay, so now we're going to we're going to divide. And we get 0.9. We're going to have some correction to do on that one because I can't have a 0 here. It has to be a number between 1 and 9. And now we can deal with our exponents here. So negative 3 minus 8. I had negative 3. I'm going 8 more negative. So again, we end up on negative 11. But I do have to correct this decimal. So I need to move it back so that I have one number here, that 9. And because I'm moving it from the left, I'm going to subtract 1. Okay, so I have 9 times 10 to the negative 12th power. So this is multiplying and dividing scientific notation. And this one's a little bit more advanced just because we have some corrections to do after multiplying. So The basic version, I believe it's the same idea, but you don't have any corrections to do. So this third step is not necessary on the basic one. But on the advanced one, they make you correct it. So I hope that helped, and I'll see you on the next video.